Hi lovelies, welcome to the channel. Nisha Knows Best. Hi lovelies and welcome to the channel, and I'm your girl Nisha and I'm here with you once again. Today we're going to talk about setting boundaries and how to protect our emotional energy. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. When I was starting my manifesting journey, this was something that I did not know much about. I didn't know much about setting boundaries, and I never learned what boundaries were. I came from a close-knit family where we were just all up in each other's business. And not only that, sometimes we would say things that were pretty inappropriate to the other person, and not really caring how they would affect the other person. It was just like, this is how I feel about your life choices, and this is what I'm going to say in front of the whole family. And so when I was growing up, I seen pretty loose boundaries, which caused rifts and sometimes unnecessary drama. And so when I became an adult and I was out there forming my own relationships, and even before I was adult, teenager, forming my own relationships, this was a breeding ground for toxicity. So a lot of my friendships and even relationships, intimate relationships, would quickly turn toxic because I was unknowing anything. I didn't know anything about boundaries and how to set boundaries and even what they were. So that's why I'm sharing this with you today, how to set boundaries in order to protect our emotional energy. So everything in this world is made up of energy, and energy is a vital life force. Everything is made up of energy, and everything is connected through these energy fields. So in quantum physics, scientists have called this 0 point energy, where everything is connected. So that's what we're learning in science, that people are connected, everything is connected in these 0 point fields. And so that brings us to humans and our interaction and our contact with other humans. If you want to live a good life, it is important to know how to protect your energy. Protecting your energy has a lot to do with learning how to deal with toxicity. So when toxicity arrives in your life or in your relationships, you do have to know how to deal with them in a productive way, in a way that's not going to drain you. It's not going to make the situation worse than what it was before, and something where you can move forward and feel good about the way that you responded to the situation, although the situation may have not been ideal or considered toxic. Energy vampires is a term used for anyone who intentionally and sometimes unintentionally can drain your energy. So sometimes these energy vampires can be people in your family, people at work, co-workers, spouses, children, or friends. And what happens is when you have contact with these people in certain situations, they may be in not so good of a mood. They may be going through drama or stress of their own. And what a lot of people tend to do is put their problems on other people as a way of venting or as a way of releasing pent up negative energy. And if you are a person who is very sensitive, a lot of times this emotion from other people can affect your life. So even if you're not going through the actual situation and the person is venting to you or making you feel some way responsible for whatever they're going through, a lot of times it's easy for us to absorb those negative vibes and they become part of our own energy field, which isn't a good thing because we are living our own lives and we have our own stresses and our own things that we have to worry about. And so when we're taking on the negative energy of others, but also have our own crap that we're dealing with, a lot of times it makes it harder for us to pursue the things that we need to pursue. It makes it harder for us to concentrate and focus on what we need to focus in life. So that's why it's very important to set those boundaries. Everyone knows what it feels like when it comes to negative energy. When we are dealing with toxic behavior or someone who has unleashed on us a negative tyrant, the best thing that we can do is breathe in and breathe out. So you breathe in like you're breathing in through a straw, and you breathe out the same way. And those are called straw breaths. And a lot of times when we're dealing with people and their BS, we have to take a breather. So before we react, we must respond. So remember, don't react, respond. So sometimes someone will just unleash something or tell you something that's just, that was deep. So instead of reacting, okay, and say, what are you talking about? Why would you put me? Take a deep breath. Think about it for a minute. You might have to leave the situation for a minute, come back to it, but do your straw breaths and then respond. Don't react, because when you react, that means that, guess what? You're absorbing that energy that you might not want. So let's get into how to actually set those personal boundaries. So when you're setting boundaries, you are letting people know how you want and expect to be treated. And sometimes people don't know. They don't know what you expect from them. And it is up to you as being a responsible person to let them know, especially if they've gotten out of hand, they released some toxicity into your life. You have to speak up to that person and you need to let them know that, hey, it's not okay. This is what I'm willing to accept and this is what I will not accept. And, it's okay if someone doesn't know your boundaries from the beginning, because a lot of times we don't place these boundaries and we don't let people know what we are expecting and what we are not expecting. So examples of personal boundaries are possibly needing quiet time to yourself. So if you have a spouse who likes to vent about the terrible time at work and you have your own job and your own career, sometimes we have to have that personal space where we cultivate our own vibration, and we can take on maybe some stress of others, but it's always good to have some quiet time to yourself, and that can be a personal boundary that you set with your loved ones or your spouse or your children. Another example of setting a personal boundary could be not allowing others to take their anger out on you. So that's a very important one, especially when you're dealing with people who are going through high stress situations and they want to transfer their energy onto other people. You should set your limits and put your foot down and let them know that you will not accept them taking their anger and frustration out on you. Another example of setting a personal boundary could be not allowing others to invade your personal space. So this might be one if you, for example, I have a daughter, and she likes to go through my things. She's 13 years old, and most 13-year-olds, they like going through their parents' things, or they think, oh, well, it's okay, it's my mom and dad, they have nothing to hide. Which most of the times we don't, but we do all have personal things and our own personal space. And there's a lot of things that we may not want people to go through and read. So setting your limitations of not allowing others to invade your personal space could be a definitely great boundary to set. So another example of setting a boundary could be saying no if you don't want to do something. Okay, a lot of us, we have really busy schedules. We're running here, there, especially if we have children, spouse, responsibilities at work, at school, and something comes up. A friend asks you to do a favor for them. For example, oh, hey, can you help me move? It's something you don't want to do, and you may not have the time to do it. If it's a quick move and they just need help carrying a few boxes up the stairs, maybe you might have time to do it. But if it's a big move and you have other things that are going on in your life, and it's anything you don't have time for or you don't want to do, you have to learn how to say no. So those are examples of boundaries that you can start setting today. And last but not least, when we are trying to protect our emotional boundaries, our emotional energy, we must know our limitations. Okay, so if there's people in your life that are giving you grief, that are causing drama, you may have to take a break from them. And part of you knowing that you need to take a break from someone is knowing your emotional capacity. If you have a lot of things going on in your life and certain situations or certain people are too much, you have to know how to walk away. Now, do you have to walk away from them permanently? Not in all cases. The reason why we would walk away from a situation or from people that are causing us stress and anxiety is that we need to cultivate and raise our own vibrations. A lot of times when we are dealing with traumatic situations or toxic situations, our life is being mirrored back to us. So in law of attraction, life energy is always reflected back to us, and like attracts like. So if you're in a bad mood and you're feeling crappy, good chances are you're going to be attracting more people that are going to make you feel worse and crappy. And sometimes we need to take a break from everything, or as much as possible, because we can't take a break from everything, but a lot of times we can eliminate those stresses, take a break from them, raise our vibrations, do our processes, and when we have a clearer mind, come back to that person or that situation. So hopefully this video has resonated with you, and please feel free to comment below if there's anything that you noticed that you are taking on that you should not be. Remember, it is your choice. You don't have to deal with it. Till next time.